We have made it to arguably one of the worst F1 games of this generation. Hello everybody and welcome to the F1 2014 career mode, fresh off of the 2023 versions of the F1 2012 and 2013 career mode that we did. Now we have moved on to F1 2014, where we remain with the Mercedes F1 team in what was an absolute dominant season, of course, from this team with Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg, of course, behind the wheel. Now we'll be going up against Hamilton. What can we do in a quest to win our first championship in the season-by-season series? We're keeping the same system. We jump straight in, kind of blind, no track practice or anything. We jump straight into one-shot qualifying to really put us under pressure for this series now against the AI. And that was a little bit easier back in this era as we head down in towards turn one. The first, of course, game with the new era, you could say, of Formula One, with these absolutely terrible sounding cars at the time. They were atrocious in terms of the actual sound of them. But yeah, I mean, of course, we've come a long way in this hybrid era of Formula One, really whipping these things around already now as we go through this first sector. Gonna make sure I put the brakes down to the rear. I always like to do that now. Overall, I played this game one time for a separate video just to kind of, you know, see what all the hype about this game being awful was, and I, at the time, didn't quite understand it. So I'm curious to see, as we maybe play through a career mode, if I'll understand maybe why this game's considered one of the worst. I'll see you guys on the grid. Not the ideal start to the season. Lewis Hamilton on pole, Vettel, Ricardo Alonso, Hulkenberg. How about Nico Hulkenberg up there in the top 5 while his teammate Perez down in P11. But for us, I mean, we got to start from the back of the grid, try to make Canada proud here in Australia. All right, new game, new season. Here we go from Australia, starting on the option yellow stripe tire. We'll be switching onto the primes a little bit later on here. Now, from the back of the grid, we are ready to kick off F1 2014 now, as Jeff wishes us the most luck possible. It's going to be 5 red lights, and the Australian Grand Prix in F1 2014 career mode is officially underway, and my rear tires are lit up in a matter of seconds here. Put the brakes immediately down to rear on this run down towards turn number 1. Going to be pretty cautious here, let things play out. Not quite sure what the AI aggression is like when it comes to F1 2014, and I would not really want to find out the hard way, as I nearly do anyways now, as we're alongside Esteban Gutierrez here on the run down towards the right-hander. I'm just trying to get a little bit aggressive here. You know, we are in a Mercedes, the absolute dominant car from this era, and we expect to be fighting, you know, for a world championship. In F1 2014, we had our ups and downs, while Lewis Hamilton has won both championships of this year-by-year game series that we have done, of course, in F1 20. Oh my goodness, what are we doing? It is chaos here in these opening moments now. Gutierrez contact, we somehow escape with no damage, so we can kind of focus in on the rest of this race here. But yeah, I mean, Hamilton won the F1 2013 career mode. He won the F1 2012 career mode as well. We were in the fight late last season, but unfortunately came up a bit short, and of course we threw away that win in Brazil about a month ago now. It was here. But okay, so we've survived the first half of the lap. Now we go through the deadly chicane of the Australian Grand Prix. No curves to use in this game, so it's just all we have is a DRS button. There's no battery or anything, which is really interesting. So we're just kind of rolling around here. A lot less button pushing, basically, throughout the course of the lap. I must say, of all of the on-screen displays that the F1 games have had, this one looks pretty bad. In the bottom right there, just doesn't do it for me now, as this car really slipping and sliding around this circuit here. Only P16 as it stands at the end of lap 1, and it looks like we're losing some time to Raikkonen. Oh, Raikkonen's having a bit of a moment here. I am right to the back of him. This car kind of just slides everywhere, it feels like, which I'm a little bit alarmed by as the grip in this car fades, because right now, of course, we're at peak grip in this machine, so I'm a little bit curious to see how the grip's going to change. These AI are really weird so far now. As you can see, Maldonado loses a spot to Raikkonen. I have no, you know, battery to actually use to go in for an overtake on him, so we just kind of have to do it the hard way, of course, you know, the old school way, you could kind of say there. But oh my goodness, this thing, yeah, it's sliding all over the place. End of lap 2. Here comes Maldonado looking for an overtake on us now. The race engineer is extremely quiet, but yeah, the audio in this game, I gotta say, I think that's really where this game sucks so far. But Sector 3, I am struggling tremendously to really do anything in that sector. Now the car just kind of wants to go out from under you. Really, any heavy braking zone, the rear end's just kind of trying to step out, you know, every chance it possibly can. Here we go now into sector 3, and this is where I'm talking about, where the car just really doesn't feel all that good now. I've changed the brakes from rear to neutral and just want to see if that kind of changes anything for my corners, but goodness gracious, I don't know what it is. The brake pedal just kind of doesn't want to hook up, and then the grip isn't quite there. We are struggling hard in a car that should be absolutely dominant. Of course, definitely when I first played the game, it didn't feel a whole lot different from F1 2013, but now that we're doing the career mode, on the other hand, it feels significantly different so far, and not necessarily in a good way. If we are going to be successful in this car, we have got a massive learning curve ahead of us, and I mean, we're going to get fired from Mercedes going in F1 2015, or maybe even halfway through the season, if this is going to be the story of our year. We've run down Kamui Kobayashi massively. I wonder if he's got an issue, because he has dropped off a cliff there. We're just going to really force the issue on him. I didn't want to do that, but it just kind of happened. So we passed him. Now, of course, Kamui Kobayashi did a NASCAR Cup Series race actually last year at the Indianapolis Road Course. That was a fun one to watch Kamui take his hand on the NASCAR side of things. It was always cool to see him talk about actually just how much fun he had doing it, even though he had a bit of a rough day getting wrecked a couple of times. We just ran our fastest lap by over a second of improvement, so it's pretty evident now that, you know, I'm starting to kind of get the hang of things. I don't feel confident, you know, yet in the drivability of this Mercedes. Honestly, I'll be happy with 1 point today here in Australia and Albert Park. I will absolutely take that. We, of course, need to pass a few more cars still to be able to do that, but yeah, I mean, I'm feeling a little bit better. But we've gotten some confidence to build up and just a comfortability to find. I keep thinking I'm not doing so bad over the course of the lap, but then I look behind me and Pastor Maldonado is right on me, and I still went about 0.6 of a second faster. But you know what is beneficial for me is the AI like to do that thing that they did in F1 2012, F1 2013 as well, where they just stomp on the brake pedal if you're alongside them going into the corner. We're going to be pitting at the end of this lap. We've made it 6 laps so far. Oh my goodness, it just wants to slide every chance it possibly gets here. Now I'm curious to see what kind of pace we are going to have, you know, when we switch off of this tire and go onto the white stripe now as we close in on the end of this lap. I see a massive wad of cars in front of us there, led by Lewis Hamilton. So, I mean, I don't know what is going on, but it's pretty evident that, you know, we're really not that far behind. I think there might have been an issue or something, I don't know. But nonetheless, we're coming in for our first and hopefully only pit stop of the day here in Albert Park. It has not been an easy first part of this Grand Prix. I am hopeful the last, you know, bit of it is going to go a bit smoother. Oh, that's not what you want to see right there. We get held up there by some traffic. It turns into a 5.5 second pit stop. Back onto the track we go here in the Australian Grand Prix. What can we do now that we're headed back out, and what kind of pace are we going to have? That's the question here now. I'm hopeful that we can manage to pull something off now. But yeah, I mean, you know, graphically, game looks alright. You know, the visuals are fine. Kind of basically the same as F1 2013 and whatnot. But yeah, the audio is kind of where the game's really lackluster so far. And honestly, the drivability of these cars and just the constant trying to kind of slide out from under you is really, really weird, which I've never really felt a car do that before really in a game. It's dank, that's for sure. It's just trying to slide around no matter what speed you're really going. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I am playing on no assist. I'm also playing on a Moza FSR direct drive Formula style wheel. Yeah, direct drive for F1 2014. I know, it's the only option I have though. I'm going to actually put the brakes back to the rear now and just kind of see what happens. Now, we're actually exiting right here with Maldonado. I'm going to try and swing around the outside just like that. Thank you very much. And we're not far behind the Williams of Felipe Massa either. So things are looking pretty good. And I think Hamilton's the one with the issue, because look at the track map. You see, of course, the yellow dot. That is Lewis Hamilton. And he is actually, it looked like there was a car in front of him on the track map. Not sure if that's someone that stayed out or if that's someone that was able to get ahead of him, but he just doesn't quite seem to have, you know, the best pace right now in that car. So it's kind of keeping us, of course, right here in the mix as well. I don't think Hamilton's the problem. He's driving away now, so I don't know. I'm confused at this point, but we are closing in. That's all that matters here. Like I said, if we can get points out of this, I'm going to be pretty ecstatic with it. As we head down to the braking zone, this is where we're really going to be able to gain some time. I'm kind of able to chuck the car down in there a bit more confidently. Maybe a little bit too confident on that one, but we're just fine. But, I mean, this is the big corner right here. The car just loves to slide through this corner, but right now, so far, so good. I'm having to be so delicate on the throttle. I feel like even when we're not sliding through there, we're losing time for sure we are. I mean, Maldonado is right up the back end of me once again. I don't know what was that with Kevin Magnussen, but that might open the door for me to go for an overtake here on the run down towards the braking zone. Up the inside, not going to be too aggressive, still not a whole lot of confidence on the brakes. Jean-Eric Vergne runs into a bit of a mishap right there. I'm going to go around the outside of the Toro Rosso. He's not going to lift, surprisingly. I'm going to really force the issue on him, saying, you know what, if you're not going to lift, I'm going to make you lift. So we get through and up into P12 we go. And now Felipe Massa right there in front of us, as well as I believe that's Daniel Kvyat right in front of him. Going for it, going for it, going for it. Massive send, massive, massive, massive. I have been a little bit aggressive when I need to be here today, and that puts us in striking distance of points. Here's a big run on Daniel Kvyat now. I don't think he's boxed yet. I don't know. I could be completely wrong, but nonetheless, we're up the inside. He's not going to make it easy. I'm not going to make it easy either. There's a little bit of context. Still just kind of getting used to the handling of this game. The white stripe tire, a lot more understeery, I'm noticing. Hamilton's definitely struggling up here. Look at him. He's just not really looking very comfortable right now. And if we beat Lewis Hamilton, our teammate, in the first race, and it's barely inside the top 10, that's going to be quite an embarrassing start for the dominant team, of course, as we go through the run down into turn 1. Hulkenberg there just in front of us. We're going to be able to run him down, no problem. No DRS yet, but I don't think we're going to need it. Get that slipstream, then we're going to peek the nose up the inside. Oh my goodness. All right. I didn't need to do a thing. All I had to do was ride and let it happen. He just drove into the back of Hamilton, and I think what we're seeing is Hamilton braking significantly earlier right now. Look at that, look at that. Definitely, there's definitely some kind of issue. I heard maybe something about wing damage from Jeff. I don't know if he was talking about Hamilton or the car behind of Hulkenberg. Oh my God, I'm sorry, Lewis. I did not want to do that, but you know what? Oh my goodness, come on. Let's get it going here. Let's get it going here. I'm going to be forced to ride behind him through the chicane. That's just kind of, it is what it is in that scenario there. But let's see if we can just stay close enough. We should be able to, yeah, I think we're fine. We're going to be able to send one up the inside here into the braking zone. There it is. He's got to have some kind of damage for sure in his Mercedes. I'm about to have damage as well. Hamilton's off the circuit. Hamilton's completely off the circuit now. It is not good. Yellow flags out. Hamilton stomped on track. He's not even rolling currently as, oh my goodness, he's gotten it back going. But what has happened to this Mercedes team in Australia? We're now the best runner in 8th place. I am 12 seconds behind Valtteri Bottas right now. So long story short, we're going to be having a lonely rest of the Grand Prix. Actually, I say lonely, but I mean, I have got a rear view mirror full of a car that's got a damaged wing that's managing to run me down of Nico Hulkenberg. I have no pace left in it. I mean, I am giving it everything I got. I don't know what happened to Hulkenberg. It's now Massa and Magnussen, and then I know they back out going into this corner. Oh, they just brake so hard when they're right on you that they just give up that much time, it looks like. But yeah, I've got nothing left. I'm finding, you know, in my opinion, the most lap time I possibly can. I'm just not able to quite do what the other cars are able to do. It's weird. They're able to really just kind of lick the stamp, kind of send it, and I'm not really able to do that so far in this opening round at least, and I've continued to lose time to the cars in front of me. We're going to be the best finishing Mercedes from the looks of it, and I'm only in 8th place right now, so it's been a rough start to the season, definitely for the defending Constructors Champions with Mercedes and myself and Lewis from F1 2013, and then of course just a rough start for the 2-time-in-a-row champion of this game-by-game series of Lewis Hamilton. Magnussen's going to be all over me on the run down towards turn 1, which you guys know what that means now. He'll look up the inside, and then he's going to stomp the brake pedal. He'll give up a whole bunch of track position here on the run into that first corner, so we'll stay ahead. Massa is going to be up next again with 2 laps to go. We're going to switch the field to Rich now. We got 2 extra laps of field in it, so we should be okay. I think the biggest thing I'm learning so far is I just need to find a way, and I don't know, maybe if it's just Australia or if this is going to be a thing throughout the whole game. Someone that's played this game many times could let me know down below, but it really feels like I'm just going to need to find a way to just send it really hard into these corners and then find the grip at the same time, which seems to be a very difficult task so far. Alright, one lap to go. We got a chain of cars here. Massa, is he going to look for an overtake? I don't think so. So he actually might hold on to the position instead of go for an aggressive move. Yes, there you go. As I stay full throttle right there. That was a bit wild. But yeah, it's obviously not been a good day for Mercedes here as we continue to try and learn. And honestly, I mean, although we are fighting for our life and we're just kind of holding on here over these cars that are definitely quicker than me behind us, P8 is something that I'm pretty happy with considering the struggles that we have had in this opening round. But what I'm not happy about is continuing to watch that gap to Valtteri Bottas just continue to open up. That's not been fun. We've already got a winner, Daniel Ricciardo. I mean, look at that pace, and how about that? Red Bull opens up the year with a win, and just like in real life, not Sebastian Vettel winning at the Red Bull. It's Daniel Ricciardo picking up the victory, and now we're just going to bring it around and hang on for that 8th position here in Albert Park. I mean, sliding everywhere through the final turn to the line. Not pretty. P8 in Melbourne. Goodness gracious. I mean, I'm pretty happy that one's over, to be honest with you guys. That was just difficult. Very challenging Grand Prix. But Hamilton ends up 19th place at the end of that. Very, very unfortunate there. As you can see, it's Alonso and Vettel joining Ricciardo on the podium, while Mercedes end up 8th and 19th place. An absolute disaster. Jules Bianchi there with the DNF. Obviously, the standings going to look the same as the finishing results, but the constructor side of things, yeah, we're down to P6. Not pretty. Not pretty at all. Some work to do, and yeah, we just need to find some confidence. That's the main thing, and hopefully we can do that in the next episode, because it was a rough one. But if you guys enjoyed, you know what to do. We'll be doing this every week for the whole game, and then we'll be moving on to F1 2015. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in round 2. Have a great day.